admirations and ambitions of any kid from the inner city. I just wanted to be a provider for my family. So for me, I had the misfortunes of losing a lot to get where I'm currently at. And the last 3.5, 4 years, I've been the biggest thing on my coast on the Southeast region. So I'm not really new to a lot of people, but to a small few I am. And have a successful situation currently, I like to call it semi-success because this can change tomorrow for me. But having the ability to come up with a hit record such as Shorty with T-Pain is what I call a blessing, man. And being able, I think, to handle not only the music aspect, but to try to keep my, I guess, my social life as more than normal as I possibly can, I think it's good for me. But I just try to be a spokesman for the hood, man, and do it in a way in which I don't think people have covered in a while. To me, this is a stupid investment, but it's part of me growing as a person. I think if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't. But at the same time, I think standing for something and being not only the face of my partners, whether it's Slip and Slide or Atlantic Records, but being the voice of the hood, and I think a lot of times when you talk about the truth, it offends a lot of people. So for me, man, on my album, The Real Testament, that's due out August the 7th, I'm talking about reality situations. I ain't gonna bore you with the, the cars and the big house and all that. I think I'm giving you 15 songs that, in my opinion, is quality music.
Yeah. And then you come from a different part of Florida than people have traditionally heard from, like, hip-hop. Like, first it was, like, Miami, they would think the booty scene in Miami. And like, like Ross and Trick and all that, and be like, well, Miami's not that, it's this or whatever. But now, like, you're from northern Florida or whatever, and you talked about, like, your experiences or whatever. I guess, can you kind of explain some of the differences for somebody who doesn't really know Florida and they just think it's sunny and they only think of Miami? Can you kind of explain, like, where you're from in Florida?
By me being from Fort Myers, Florida, I think we're the midpoint between Miami is an hour and a half south of us, Tampa is an hour and a half north of us. Small city. I think it molded me and made me the person that I currently am, man, because we didn't have the luxury of having, you can have one hood here and the next hood in the major city will be 7 miles away. But for me, I think I was forced to deal with adversity. And I always was told that adversity, the only thing it does is reintroduce you to yourself. So for me, I totally appreciate being from a small city because it helped me to learn how to deal with issues and situations I was currently faced with. But the whole notion of Florida, man, I think one thing I never try to do, I never try to convince you my state is harder than your state. I never try to convince you my city is harder than your city. I think the same thing is going around the world, it's just different characters. So if it's a kid in New York, if it's a kid in Philly, if it's a kid in Chicago, if it's a kid in Fort Lauderdale, when you're in the inner city, man, you got the same kind of struggles, you got the same kind of problems. So for me, I think the music scene in Florida has definitely been doing this thing for a while, but I don't believe in jockeying for position. I believe in staying in my lane and staying true to myself. So I won't try to bore you that my hood is harder than your hood or my state is better lyrically than your state. So for me, it's about staying in my lane, understanding my situation, and trying